Okay, we're back for video 2 of unit 7. So number 9, we have our diagram here. We got AOD, BOC, AOB, COD, and we're given one of the angles here. And then we have AOB is 88 degrees. So we know that this right here is 88 degrees from here to here. Okay, and then we know that COB is 28 degrees. So this one right here, COB, 28 degrees. And it's our job to figure out what x is. Well, we know that straight lines always have 180 degrees. So 180 degrees. And we know that this angle is 88 and this angle is 28. So why not take off from the 188 or the 180 degrees, the 28 degrees. We'll get rid of that one. And so that's 10, 2, and we have 152, and then we're going to subtract 88 from that as well. Okay. So we've taken off this angle is gone and this angle after we subtract this 88. So carry the 1 there, get 12, 4, 15, 64 degrees. So 180 minus 28 minus 88 is 64 degrees. So we know that 4x plus 8 equals 64. And just by looking at this part, I can say this is probably on the right track because the teacher is thinking, oh, I want to keep it even, and I know that 8 goes into 64, and if 8 goes into 64 and 4 goes into 64, I'm probably going to end up with a pretty straight answer here. So I subtract 8, and we have 56. Okay, and then divide by 4. Okay, and we have 114. Okay, so if you weren't able to do that in your head, 4 into 56, 4 goes in one time, 4 into 16 is 4, done deal. All right, next up, again, find the missing angles. The first thing I'm going to do, you got to be thinking, fill out the diagram with what you know. So DOE is 20, so I'm looking for DOE is 20 degrees. Okay, AOC is 125, AOC, so this angle from here to here is 125. And then BOC is 55, so from here to here, oh wait, sorry, BOC is 55, from here to here is 55. And then it's asking for BOD, so it wants to know what this one is right here. And we can figure that one out by subtracting 125 and 55. So 125 minus 55, that'll give us this missing one. Okay, so that's 0 and 70 degrees. So we know that this is 70 degrees here. And EOC, it wants to know, EOC. Well, to figure out EOC, we have to know what this is. If we know that this is 125 from here to here, we can use that info to figure out what this one is because a straight line is 180 degrees. So we're looking at 180 minus 125. So 5, and I have 1355 degrees. So we now have enough information to figure out what EOC is. So EOC right here. Oh, someone lost their keys. So EOC is 75 degrees. So we would just add the 55 and 20 degrees, 75 degrees. And then our AOE, so I'm looking at AOE. All right, well, AOE, you could look at it two ways. You could look at it as, I know that this is 180 degrees and this is 20 degrees. So I would accept 200 degrees. Or I would accept this being 180 degrees, and if you see AOE coming as this angle right here, I would accept it as being 160 degrees. So you would have 180 minus 120, and I would honestly accept both. They're both correct. Okay, up next we got number 11. I'm only 4 minutes in here. We have measure angle 1. First thing I'm going to do is label it. So if this is 103, 3 is also 103 because they're vertical angles, and vertical angles are equal to each other. And if this is 103 and this is 103 and this is a straight line, I can take 180 degrees of a straight line, subtract 103 from it. Okay, so that's 10, 7, and I got 8 minus 11, 77 degrees. And if this is 77 degrees, then this must be 77 degrees because of the same reason. It's vertical angle. So now that I have this done, I got 1 and 3 are both the same. So 1 and 3, 103. And then this must be 77 degrees, must be 77 degrees. Okay. We got a couple more minutes here. Try not to do too much all at one time. So these are vertical angles, and just like the last one, vertical angles equal each other. So we can set them equal to each other. X plus 41 equals, well, the other vertical angle is 2x plus 16. Okay? So what we can do is subtract x from both sides. And we get a 0 there, and we get 41 equals x. 2x minus 1x is 1x plus 16. So subtract 16 from both sides. There's your 0. And I have 11 minus 6 is 5. 4 minus 2 is 25. X equals 25. So if you stopped here, though, you'd be incomplete. We know what x is, right? So we need to substitute that back into either equation. It doesn't really matter which one. You'll get the same answer either way. And I got to close my email. Okay. We'll get the same answer either way. So you can substitute it in for 41. That seems to be the easiest one because you don't have to multiply it. And 41 plus 25, 66 degrees. So I know that COD is 66 degrees. And then AOC up here, so now we're looking at this one, right? You would take 66, because this is a straight line, you have 180 degrees, minus 66, and so that's 4, you have 114 degrees. All right, I think I can get 2 more in 3 minutes. All right, identify each pair as corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, consecutive, linear pair, or vertical angles. So let's just go through it. We have 4 and 8. So 4 and 8, they're on different sides of the transversal, so they kind of switch sides, right, of this guy. And really it comes down to, sorry, let me back up. And you have 2 parallel lines, right? These 2 lines are parallel, and they're cut by our transversal. We know things about this, the 2 parallel lines in the transversal. If we took these 2 lines and kind of squished them into one another like this, they would match up with each other. Like 2 would be the same value, have the same measurement as 4. 3 would have the same measurement as 1. 6 and 8 would have the same measurement. 7 and 5 would have the same measurement. And so because of that, we can figure out certain information. But before we get to like calculating things, you need to be able to use the vocabulary. All right, so now let's get back to the 4 and 8. The 4 and 8 are changing sides, and changing sides means that it's alternating. And so I'm just going to abbreviate alt, and they are exterior because they are on the outside of the 2 parallel lines. 4 and 2 are corresponding angles. They are in the same position, okay? So you could take out angle 4 and replace it with angle 2, and it wouldn't change anything in 3, 5, and 6. So they are corresponding. Four and 6 are vertical angles. They're across from each other. 6 and 7 are a linear pair. They're also consecutive. 4 and 5. 4 and 5 are a linear pair. And then 3 and 7 are alternate interior angles. So alt interior. Okay. All right, next up we have 3x, or 3 times x plus 7 and 105. If this little symbol right here means that these 2 lines are parallel to each other, which means that these 2 corresponding angles equal each other. So we have 3 times x plus 7 equals 105. And I actually prefer not to distribute. You can go straight into division there, and you can do 105 divided by 3. Oh, I can do that in my head. I know, I'm a terrible math teacher here. So we got 115, so 35. Great. Subtract 7. X equals 28. Interesting fact, if the numbers in a number add up to a number divisible by 3, that number is divisible by 3. So I knew that 105 was divisible by 3 because 1 plus 5 is 6. 6 is divisible by 3. Divisible by 3. All right. That's it for this video. That's 11 minutes.